How do you launch a product that revolutionizes an entire industry category? And how, as a female founder, do you get other women as well as men to back your mission by investing in your vision? Today, we're talking with Annette Azan, the founder of Nuudii system, boobwear that is revolutionizing the bra industry by giving women a choice of flexibility and comfort with a natural shape. Welcome to Life After Corporate, your ultimate guide for making the leap from corporate leader to entrepreneur. I'm Deb Boulanger, entrepreneur, executive leader, and founder of the Launch Lab for Women Entrepreneurs. This is your time to break through the glass ceiling once and for all and get your ticket to the C-suite. Come back each week to get the leading strategies, advice, and tools that will give you the skills and confidence you need to replace your corporate paycheck. Are you ready? Let's go. Welcome back to another episode of Life After Corporate, my friend. And if you are new to our show, welcome home. This is the place where we tell it like it is on this rocky road to entrepreneurship. No fake promises or cookie cutter strategies. These are real stories from real women who are bringing their expertise and products to the world in a way that is revolutionizing how people think and behave. And one such entrepreneur is my very good friend and special guest today, Annette Azan, the founder of Nuudii system. Nuudii is not a bra or a bralette. It is a product that forms to your natural body shape instead of shaping you. I have my Nuudii on today. And Annette launched this product on her own, has secured some influential investors, and is launching her second Kickstarter this week. Welcome to Life After Corporate, Annette Azan.
Thank you, Deb. That was amazing. And you know a lot about Nuudii.
I know a lot about Nuudii. I just got back from a trip to Austin, Texas. And seriously, in my bag were no bras, but 3 Nuudiis. You know,
what a journey.
A black, a nude, and a halter.
I love it. That's all you need, right?
That's all you need. I just need my backlist next.
Yes. Yeah.
So anyway, there's so much we want to cover in this conversation today. And first, I know our listeners are wondering, like, how did you get here? Did you ever expect to be an entrepreneur in the position that you're in today? Is this something that you always saw coming?
Well, you know, I've had a total career in fashion, and I've been working for some larger fashion designers and larger retail establishments, but also in between working for myself. I also come from a family of entrepreneurs. So entrepreneurship was something that didn't feel unattainable. But when it comes to Nuudii, which is what I'm doing today, which is my love and my passion, it really found me. You know, it came from an organic need that I had to wear an amazing wedding dress 11 years ago, and I couldn't find what I needed. And I decided to make something. And that something, fast forward 11 years later, is something that was bigger than I could have ever imagined back then. So it was just like a really precious, organic experience of how this came to be.
And I think that's where the best ideas for new services, new products come from. It's this organic need that develops. And then here you're in the fashion industry, you are creative, you're good with fabric. I was so amazed, you know, you sewed it yourself, you wore that gorgeous wedding dress. So what have you learned along the way that's useful to other product entrepreneurs or women who are seeking investment in their idea?
You know, it's interesting. I come from a background of business, not design. And I often think that if I were a designer, I would not have actually come up with the idea of Nuudii. Because you're always thinking 5 steps ahead of, you know, how will I manufacture this? And I just had an innocence to it. And I had no idea it was actually going to be that hard to manufacture and actually, make this into a real product. So that innocence was actually very good for me in this journey. And I think that I would say to other entrepreneurs, like, to stay open and to stay curious, because often people from the industry, designers included, have tunnel vision. And so that's why we find products often that are so similar to each other, right?
Oh, that's so interesting.
Yeah, they're just not open to thinking really outside of the box. And my desire to wear this wedding dress allowed me to just not see any of those walls. And then here today, I have the huge advantage of really making a difference in women's lives, which is actually bringing them boob wear, which is going to simplify and also allow them to reclaim their shape, which is huge. I mean, we are going up against the whole bra industry.
I know.
Yeah.
And you said to me, we were together a couple weeks ago, and you said to me something that was so enlightening. I never thought of it that way, that the bra industry was created to shape women, to create this idealized shape of a woman's body. And it's not comfortable. You either have underwires poking you, or straps that are digging into your shoulders, or straps that are falling off your shoulders. Mm-hmm. And the brilliance of Nuudii, and when I was an early fit model for you, for the larger boob type, I saw, you said to me, you were like, look at your shape. Look at the shape of your breasts in the mirror with the bra and without the bra. And that was so telling, because it's not only about comfort. And I think as women rise in this new age of feminism that we're in right now, which is a different flavor than in decades past, that we're just reclaiming it all, you know, the seat at the table, wearing what we want to wear, not being forced into any box, either socially or in our fashion. And I think you were so timely in bringing this to market.
It's so powerful. I mean, today we had a meeting this morning, and what my designer said, I have one friend and she really hates Nuudii. And I said, really? She said, yeah, she just doesn't like her shape. And you know, in our first Kickstarter, one of the things that we wrote there was, you know, Nuudii asks you to love yourself as you are. And we know that, you know, it's been 100 years that the bra industry has been here telling us what shape we should be, and it's always changing. Right. And so it's going to take some time for women to come back. But I see those layers being shed more quickly as time goes by, where women are just, you know, if they want to be gray, they'll be gray. They're just leaving the constructs that have kept us bound. And so, you know, reclaiming your shape, actually, I think breasts are the last part of our body we've been able to reclaim as women. I mean, a long time ago, thank God for J-Lo, we got to reclaim our hips and our thighs.
Yes.
So now with Nuudii, we get to reclaim our boobs.
That's beautiful. So I know this is not an easy path to take, right? If you were to take the easy road, you probably would have stayed where you were. But I've witnessed you just to grasping what it takes to get backing for this product and this idea. And getting investors on board is like a full-time job when you first get started. As you reflect back, what are some of the lessons learned from getting from where you started to where you are now? How much did you raise? And what was that experience like? Especially, you went on after a lot of male investors.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure if I went back out to them, but you know, they just happened to be mostly male. But it was an interesting journey, because early on, pre-launch of the product, we were actually in front of some of the largest VC firms. And so it's kind of interesting that they took our meetings then, and then we launched. We decided to launch on Kickstarter because we wanted to just catapult this out in a very big way in front of an audience that we knew was eager for new innovations, which is, you know, the Kickstarter audience. So we were able to raise and sell. I say raise and sell because they are getting product on Kickstarter, almost $1 million between Kickstarter and Indiegogo. We had also raised through individuals, no VC firms, another $1.3 million. And now we're also on WeFunder, also doing a campaign raise, which we are super proud of. It was a very, very big decision to go on WeFunder because it is a lot of work. But if we think about where we were born, which is really a community effort on Kickstarter, we said, you know what, why don't we take this back to community? We've got these women who love Nuudii. Why don't we give them a chance to invest? It's not exclusively for women, but, you know, let's not just leave it up to the VC world to invest in Nuudii. Why don't we get people that really feel an attachment beyond just money to invest? And so to date, we are just rounding the corner to $200,000 on WeFunder. And we hope to make over $1 million on WeFunder raising.
That's amazing. And what's the difference? I'm not clear on what's the difference between a Kickstarter campaign and a WeFunder campaign.
Yeah, a big difference. So Kickstarter, actually, the platform you pledge not for equity, but you pledge for what they call perks. So you're actually getting at discounted prices, product, but no equity. WeFunder is a platform, and there's a few of them. There's WeFunder, there's Republic, there's Start Engine, where you actually can get equity. So we're raising right now on a convertible note, which I think most startups raise. So you are actually getting to be a stakeholder in a company for $100. Yes, you are. And nothing makes me happier than people who really understand and have been on the journey with us to be able to be a stakeholder. Because seriously, every person that comes in, I feel completely accountable for the journey, for being on the journey, for making us all money. Looking back on this, and it's a big responsibility. But I have such integrity towards this company and what we're doing, and such incredible fire and belief. There's not a day that I don't get up that I am really excited about what we're doing here. This is going to be a huge year for us. And I really wanted to open up this opportunity for smaller investors, regular people, to be able to come in before our valuation goes up in a big way.
I am just so excited, and I've been so impressed. And by the way, anyone who's watching or listening, considering doing a Kickstarter campaign, I frequently cite your original campaign as one of the best online fundraiser campaigns that I've ever seen. And it gives you a sense of you, Annette, as a founder, and your commitment to your investors. The type of detail and the quality that you put into the campaign is extraordinary. So for those of you who might be frustrated that you've done some Kickstarters or Indiegogo or other campaigns and haven't gotten much traction, it could just be in how you are messaging and making the offer to people to come on board. And Annette and her team have done an extraordinary job. You and I were having a conversation a couple of weeks ago about women in investing, and that, most of the investors that have backed Nuudii up until recently have been men, and that women were not active or avid or easy investors. Why do you think that is?
So interesting. There was an article that was actually posted somewhere on LinkedIn about that today. I didn't get a chance to read it, but I'm very anxious. And basically there was saying the same thing. I've been, of course, a lot of people say, oh, you've got to go to this women's group. And I think inherently we're behind the eight ball, with good money skills, right? If you think back, what was it, like 40 years ago, we needed a husband's name on a bank account, right? So we have some catching up to do, but there's still a lot of skittishness around investing. I also think that what I have found when I'm in front of VCs, women are not just looking at our product from a standpoint of, does this have some legs? Is this a good investment financially? They're thinking about the product as something for themselves. And so I like to say in these meetings, if somebody was hoping that, I would sign on for Spanx as an investor, Spanx would have never made it. I would, in a million years, never have worn Spanx. I didn't know any of my friends that wore it. So it's like taking their own emotional self out of looking at deals. I think they put their emotions in there and it gets in the way, and merely look at deals from a deal's point of view.
Interesting. Yeah. And I think also you hit on a very important point, is that women, at least of our generation, were not raised with a conversation around money and investing and value, right? We were raised that, families are traditional. The women are the caregivers. We're the ones who are making sure everyone is fed and happy. And I didn't have a mother as a role model who was smart with money or in business. And so I think when we go out in the world, we also, because of the culture we have, we tend to undervalue ourselves. And that influences how we charge for our products, how we charge for our services, how we feel about risk. how we
Yeah.
assess risk and how readily we invest.
Yeah, that's so true. Yeah, the risk factor is a huge one. There's just a lot of fear around money. I was speaking to a friend of mine who is trying to raise for a creative project, and she says, "How do you ask? How do you ask? I have so much fear around the asking." And I mean, asking is never easy, but you learn to, push through the discomfort, because guess what? That's how you're going to get investment. So now I just ask. Why not? Yeah, I've learned a lot. I've really had to push through things that were not inherently comfortable for me, to learn a lot, and it's paying off.
Yeah, it really is paying off. And I've watched you from the sidelines, and you amaze me at your tenacity and how quickly you educated yourself on the whole investor conversation and, perfected your pitch. And, you were out there. You were out there getting seen, getting meetings, getting a seat at the table. Was there ever a time when you felt like maybe it's not going to work? Did you ever feel like giving up or doubtful?
I felt doubtful, I think, just on the fundraising side. Yes and no when we were at the beginning and we were doing the product side and having to go through factories and factories not saying or doing what they were supposed to do, et cetera, et cetera. And there were frustrations there, but I think the funding side was probably the most. And I just got interviewed by Clearco, which is my inventory funding. And it was such a great, I got to tell my story. And it's really interesting because it's the first time I got to fully tell my founder story. And of course, a lot of it was about funding. And through those commercials that are actually being shown on LinkedIn, I have gotten so many new customers coming in. And we had to look at that, like people are really attaching themselves, not just to the product, but to the story of how it came to be, my personal story, et cetera, et cetera. So we're going to start to look at that and see if we should roll out some ad campaigns around that.
Yeah, I think it's important because people are buying the why behind the product and how did you get here? Yeah, and aligning to your mission and vision. And I think that's what women do really well in community is band together, share, hey, I found something really cool, you should try it out kind of mentality and community collaboration. One thing that I'm curious about is what has been the most frustrating part of this journey? What was the biggest setback you faced and how did you overcome it?
Money has probably been the biggest, because it's like you have to try to grow a company with one hand tied behind your back, right? So that I also had a partner early on who left and had to kind of wangle and take over her position as well, which in the long run ended up to be the best thing that could have happened to really move the company forward. But money has been the biggest issue. We could have been so much further along in the journey had we had the money. But, who's to say? We're here now. we're killing it. We're going to have an amazingly large year for growth. And everything seems to be seamlessly coming together. One of the questions I remember that Clearco asked me was, what would you advise other founders? And I said, well, there's no one way. There's no one way to get there. Everybody thinks, oh, you've got to have your pitch deck. This is how you pitch. You have to have VC money, blah, blah, blah. Well, VC money is not a gift. But we can have a thriving company without VC money. So there's no one way. It's just like you have to have your eyes open, flow around the obstacles and then just keep going.
And what I love is you're at this place of momentum right now.
Yeah.
And it's really momentum from the community. And that's brilliant to watch. And if anyone's listening and hasn't caught the LinkedIn video interview and whatever ad campaign, just connect with Annette Azan. It's Azan on LinkedIn. Look at what she's posting. Become a part of this amazing movement, really. It's a movement. It's more than a product. What has been the most rewarding part of this journey for you so far?
The customers. I mean, I get to be, we're not that big. I read customer feedback. I get to talk to customers. That's actually one of the things I'm looking forward to in Kickstarter because, you're basically on 24/7. So I'm going to be answering a lot of the comments that come in. And it's the customers who really love us and who the product has really made a difference in their lives. And it keeps me going every day. Also my team they came in being, experienced and really thoughtful women. But these women are shaker and movers. The things that they do and the things they've had to learn along the way, we're a really strong team. And I'm so proud of them. Love working in their company.
Yeah. How did you find your team? How did you build that team?
Thank you, COVID. People got furloughed. At the same time, I needed to build a team. So I was super lucky to get, really talented people that have gotten furloughed. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Wonderful. And for any other woman founder, female founder who's launching a product-based business and looking for funding, what is the number one lesson you learned along this journey?
Yeah, well, I would say probably don't just think VC first. Besides bootstrapping it, which we did for many years, there's so many places you can get money now. This is, it's a new day. There's a company called Kick Further, and they do kind of a crowdsourcing to help you fund inventory. It's kind of simple and easy. It's not like you have to set up a campaign, et cetera, et cetera. There's Clearco, which I'm dedicated, and I love them because they don't just offer me inventory financing, but they're such an intelligent company and they're so pro-women. The woman, Michelle, she and I are aligned in so many ways. She just tells it like it is. She's certainly living on the edge. There are a lot of places to get money. It's not just banks. It's not just, VC. Money is out there.
So aside from money and team, what else do women founders need to know in order to build this? And before we wrap up, I really want to hear about the future vision of Nuudii as well.
Yeah, so I would say, lean in. Mentorship is really important. I was also part of an accelerator, XRC Labs, which is a consumer-focused accelerator based in New York, who I was able to get amazing mentors through and a lot of support from the team there for growth. I think mentorship, if needed, and I didn't think I needed mentorship. Really, yes, I've been in the business, but it was really helpful. So lean in and get people to help you. You'd be surprised. There are so many people. Like, I try to take time and help whomever knocks at my door because it's really important to me that I pay it forward. But yeah, I'd say mentorship is huge.
And what's next for Nuudii? What do you see for the product, the business going forward?
So besides this big launch, and I am so excited about Kickstarter because this product is the most unique product of anything that's coming down the pike. And I'm really excited about it because it's going to free women in a completely different way. But besides this launch, we actually have another category that we're moving into at the end of the year. And we have another product launch in May. We're moving into XLXL, which we're super excited to be able to expand and bring more women in. And we have lines of women waiting for that. And we're going to be building out more wholesale. And with our new packaging, which just launched this year, that is getting us ready for vending machines and for in-store sales.
That's amazing. And for those of you listening, a Nuudii literally folded up in its little sack fits in the palm of your hand. It's a tiny thing. I'm always afraid I'm going to lose my Nuudii. So it's like, where did it go in my laundry basket? But it's absolutely great. Any clues to the new product category, or is it all hush hush?
It's hush hush, and I have to say I was wearing mine all day yesterday, but it is, everything that we create has multi-end use. We really believe as part of sustainability, you shouldn't have to buy one thing that has one end use. So this is also going to be along the lines of multi-use, and that's all I'll say.
Okay. And for those of you who've never seen a Nuudii, first of all, you should go to Nuudii, Nuudii system.com and check it out. But you can do a one shoulder, you can crisscross in all different directions. The halter is great I took that on my trip to Austin for those, big shoulder cutout types of tops and halter tops and things like that. So and I'm surprised. And I remember you interviewing me when you were first starting out. And do you remember what I said about wearing a bra?
Oh, yeah. You were very reticent, like, yeah. But, this is a journey, right? So, again, it was a different experience.
Yeah. It was just one of those things where, I need to feel fully dressed when I come to my virtual office to have conversations with people. And what I found was a Nuudii was such a nice compromise. It's sort of like wearing your sweatpants during COVID and being all dressed on top. You could sleep in one easily and not even realize that you had it on. And yet it provides the structure and the fit and the comfort that you need in order to feel comfortable to carry on a business meeting. Yeah. And yet it's also versatile and very flattering when you're lounging or, dressing up to go out. There's just so much versatility to the product. I've become a huge fan, as you can tell. So Annette, if people want to get their Nuudii, I'm so used to people offering free downloads. If people want to get their Nuudii on, how do they do that?
If they want to purchase a Nuudii?
Yeah. Either in the Kickstarter campaign,
at nuudii-system.com, Nuudii system.com. We're also on Nordstrom.com, so you can see us there. The website has more versatility, more variety, in sizes and also in colors that Nordstrom doesn't have, but Nordstrom carries our core product. So we'd love for you to try it there. And, we're very available. If anybody wants styling sessions, they get it and they're like, oh, don't know what to do with it. We have somebody who will do Zoom sessions with you. So, we're here.
Yeah. And it's also your opportunity to back a woman-owned business. And I think as women start inheriting and building much of the wealth in the world in these coming years and decades, I think women supporting women and opening up your wallet is an important action to really not just morally support the cause, but actually become a backer of a business that you really believe in. And so I know women are reluctant investors, and I understand that. There's a lot of fear around letting money go. There's a lot of scarcity mindset out in the world, and that supporting another woman and getting a return on your investment, right? So if you're on the WeFunder campaign, that's an opportunity to become an investor. Mm-hmm. And the Kickstarter is to get perks and get perks and product. So we'll post all the links to that. Annette, thank you so much for joining us on Life After Corporate today.
This was really a very, very special interview for me because we've been on this journey together, and I'm really honored. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, my friend. That's it for now, everyone. We'll see you real soon. Thanks for listening, my friend. If you enjoyed this show, please head over to iTunes and subscribe and leave us a review. And be sure to hop over to the Life After Corporate Facebook group and join other growing entrepreneurs to get weekly tips on how to create more money and meaning doing work you love.